What is going on, good people of the internet? It is time once again for us to come together as African American nerds, blerds, black nerds, whatever you want to call us, and talk on this amazing show we like to call Blerd Grounds. You can listen to this podcast on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio. We're also on YouTube. Wherever you can listen to a podcast besides SoundCloud, we are there. So please check us out, subscribe, review us on Apple Podcasts, where people can find us better, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Blerd Grounds, where we post all of our new episodes. And occasionally we retweet some cool memes occasionally, whatnot, and some facts. So my name is James Portis. Below myself on this amazing cast of characters, we have the woman who works herself day in and day out, nonstop, does not stop. She is one of the coldest women in the game. Jasmine, how you doing this evening?
Hello, I'm here. I'm good. How are you?
I'm actually doing a lot better than I've been. I'm feeling pretty damn good.
That's good.
That's what's up. And we have the man who lives on airplanes. He like the Mile High Club is for the dirtiest of folks, but he lives on the kilometer flight and doesn't stop going. All he does is travel. Mr. Marcus, how you doing this evening?
What's going on, man? I'm managing. I'm maintaining.
You sound like you died over there.
Say again.
You sound like you dying over there.
Nah, man, I'm just tired.
I feel that. All right. And then we have Bilbo Baggins' cousin, Afro Baggins himself. Travis, how you doing this evening?
Damn, Afro Baggins?
Hey. I said it when you first came in earlier into the Discord, and you didn't even hear it. Me and Jasmine were dying.
That's
I was booting in.
tight, though.
Afro Baggins.
Tight. I like it.
That's what I do before I go to sleep when I put my cap on. If that's what you want.
You dream that you're a hobbit?
No, I bag my afro in silk.
That's what's up.
As you should.
Only the finest of threads.
Oh my god! But how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty well. Dadding and podcasting at the same time again. I'm getting better at this, y'all.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Aaron, hopefully he's not dead. Dr. Jones, we pray for your safety. But we are going to go ahead and dive into this evening's conversation. So, I wanted to start off a little lighter before we get too deep into the nerdiness. So there's been this developing thing that's been going on in the world of streaming for some time now. And it all originates with our one of the OG female comedians that we all love, which is actress, Oscar winning, I believe is correct. Yes, Monique. If you are familiar with her work, she's very good at what she does, but there's a little bit of controversy going on for the past couple of years now. And if you haven't heard about this, there was the issue back in a couple of years ago where she disagreed with when Netflix was handed Amy Schumer, Dave Chappelle, Tiffany Haddish, all these people out comedy specials. She was offered a comedy special, like all these other great comedians out there. And she was not offered about the same amount of money as these other comedians. And she had asked the black community to join her in boycotting Netflix in response to what was occurring. She felt that as a black woman, she was being discriminated against and not being offered the same amount of money as these other comedians. Okay. So, jump to now, and we are seeing that she is now suing Netflix about a year or so later for race and gender discrimination. And I like in the lawsuit reads, despite Monique's extensive resume, documented history of comedic success, when Netflix presented her with the offer of employment for an exclusive stand-up comedy special, Netflix made a low-ball offer that was only a fraction of what Netflix has paid other non-black female comedians. When the talent was not a black woman, Netflix offered to pay and did pay astronomically more than it pays black women. as it offered to Monique. So, let's discuss how we feel about this.
When's the last time Monique was funny?
Ouch.
Damn.
I mean, I will give her credit as someone who's been there throughout the business, and she's been putting in a lot of work, but on that same hand, Netflix has been handing a lot of people money, you know what I mean? And if they're willing to give Dave, I don't give a fuck about my legacy Chappelle, a comedy special, I don't see how she can try to pull something like this off, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think I need more information.
Honestly, when the controversy first arose, the information that we were given was that they offered her less financially than people like Dave Chappelle, Amy Schumer, and she was calling for a boycott of Netflix because of this. And then now we are seeing a lawsuit occur, like almost a year to year and a half later.
Why did she do that first?
Maybe there was no
Boycotting,
resolution.
especially if this was like a year ago. Netflix was like the streaming platform. Boycotting Netflix wouldn't have worked anyway. But that's besides the point. I mean, the thing that I'm wondering about is how much, like, were the other comedians paid like a flat rate? Were they paid like?
Well, from what I'm reading, the lawsuit references a $40 million deal for Chris Rock, a $60 million deal for Dave Chappelle, a $20 million deal for Ellen DeGeneres, a $40 million deal for Ricky Gervais, and an $11 million deal for Amy Schumer. Now,
Why?
Normally, this would just be seen as these people are getting the money that is paid due to their success. But it is being said that Monique is being discriminated against as a Black woman. And I gotta say, I'm with Travis in the argument of she hasn't done anything in years. And Wanda Sykes wasn't the biggest when she got her special. Chris Rock had rid the bench a while, but was still doing guest spots here and there. And they're getting paid good money. But at the same time, when she first proposed the boycott, everyone kind of looked at her with side eye, like, why do you think all these cord-cutting African Americans are going to be like, you really going to tell me to cancel my Netflix? Are you serious? Like, we cut cable a while ago. Why would we give up Netflix just to support you not getting millions of dollars? That's not like something that you're going to be able to ask lower middle class people to do.
How much was she offered?
I don't even remember.
I think it was like
500,000.
Yeah, 500,000. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, but there's definitely levels to this because I think part of it is she's maybe not have been on the scene because maybe she just hasn't been getting roles that she's went up for. Because it's definitely hard for a Black actress to get consistent roles and not be typecasted and things like that. But also, I've heard that she's notoriously hard to work with, so that might be part of it too.
I think there are a lot of factors that go into this one. If it would be different if everyone else was paid like relatively the same amount and she was paid noticeably less. But this is,
well, from what I'm seeing, Wanda Sykes spoke out on Monique's behalf when the boycott was going to occur back in 2018, and I said thank you on Twitter, saying Netflix offered me less than half of your 500,000, but I was offended by found another home. But what ended up occurring, Wanda Sykes ended up eventually agreeing once Netflix quote unquote moved that comma. So there's the possibility she might have got 2,500,000 or 25 mil. We don't know the specific number, but eventually Wanda and Netflix made a deal.
and Monique didn't want to make a deal.
That's what we're saying.
If this was Tiffany Haddish, I think there would be more of an argument because she's a pretty hot comedian right now. But unfortunately, I don't think the momentum's really on Monique's side because her body of work doesn't have any recent things that would command a pretty big payday.
I want to be on her side is the thing.
Right.
Well, I'm just saying. I know that it's really rough to be in a profession, especially a profession like that one, and to be seeing what your competitors are being paid and to just not be making that. Your first thought would probably jump to discrimination because that's the way it is everywhere else. So I get it, like 100%. I get it. Like I don't know if this is like a racial thing, but I just I think that if she and we don't know what went on in those meetings or whatever, but I think that if she had tried to negotiate better price, then that might have worked out in her favor because Netflix seems to be amiable to that, but I don't know. We don't know.
I think she might have a good chance of getting a settlement, but who knows? And I think it might benefit her to start talking to Warner Brothers because when they drop HBO Max, they're gonna have some stand up component because HBO's known for stand up.
You're right. So there's the potential there. Travis, do you have any final thoughts before we pull off this topic?
I'm just trying to think about all the other people who've gotten deals from Netflix. You know what I mean? And like I said, I don't know Monique's specific situation, but from the outside looking in, I can't say. I can't say that she has anything to stand on, really. But like I said, I'm not in the industry. I don't know what goes on. But Netflix gave Travis Scott a documentary. You know what I mean? Like, if anyone has seen the most recent Dave Chappelle sketch, like they knew what they were putting on the internet. That's some normal, like everyone would be canceled, but it was Dave Chappelle, so he got to be able to do it. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what strikes me the most is that they're allowing people who are not just of quality but also problematic. Monique is just not getting a piece of the pie. You know what I mean? And it's like Marcus said, I think that has a lot to do with her body of work not really stacking up to the others.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and move on from this topic because there is a lot of information. I don't want to probe this conversation for too long, but we will go ahead and move on to our next topic. We're gonna have this episode is just more of like a news type, like roundup on opinions on different TV shows, stuff like that. So like that was like the one newsy topic, and we're gonna dive into some of our opinions on different things that have been going on as of late. So, Black Lightning. I had said that we were going to keep on with this every week, but different things have come up. We've had essential topics that we haven't got to talk about it, but we are 5 episodes deep into Black Lightning season 3, and holy shit, there is so much that has occurred in these 5 episodes that have just blown my mind. So let's break it down for the folks. So Freeland is under like government occupation. The ASA is governing everybody's lives. The metahuman outbreak is so bad that it's gotten to the point that people are being put in internment camps. That's that real world scenario staring you down the face. And there's so much going on. Like for a while, Jefferson was under watch of the ASA while they ran tests on him, but that way his girls didn't have to go into the jail. Now, like Jefferson's wife, like Lynn, is having to like work for them now. She's hooked to green light because she's an idiot, and she's starting to get manipulated by Tobias Whale, who was found out to be imprisoned in the ASA, and all this stuff is going on. Freaking Khalil's alive, and I don't understand why. Like, what the actual hell? And they took away all his memories, and he's just this killing machine. And the show, it has so much going on. Thankfully, Anissa and Grace are back together, and so much has happened in so little time. And oh my god, Travis, are you caught up?
No.
Why?
I've been caught up on Disney Plus and Watchmen pretty hard.
Okay, so we will talk about both things here in a moment. But have you gotten into season 3 at all?
No, I have not got there.
Damn it, Marcus.
Yes.
Talk to me.
I am caught up.
How we feeling?
I'm digging it. It's still a CW show, so there's still all of that CW-ness. But it's easily the best CW show. That's probably not saying that much, but it's
Oh my god.
it's really good. It's a really good show. It's enjoyable. It's just enough cheesiness to where it's not annoying, and it kind of makes it redeemable. I like how the oldest sister has become the one with the most common sense.
Yeah,
Because
this was just kind of
the last 2 seasons, she was the naive one, just kind of just put running head first into problems without really thinking it through. And right now, she's got more sense than her dad does, and her mom.
Yep. It's almost like the tables have turned in the highest degree.
Black Lightning got Tavon killed, man.
Bro, Tavon.
R.I.P. Tavon, man.
Hey, but then like Jefferson caught them lumps for making that mistake, though.
He caught them lumps on purpose, man. He wanted that sympathy.
Woo! Dude, no, there's this moment where like the kid gets killed, and then like the students want to protest, so the one ASA like soldier smacks one of the students in the face. Jefferson rolls up like, "Hey, no, you can't do this. I'm not losing another kid." And then like he gets his ass beat by all these soldiers, and it's like, I feel bad for you, but you totally just got a kid killed, so like I don't totally feel bad for you.
Right, that he wanted to get his ass whooped on purpose. He wanted to be punished for what he did.
The political sympathy right there.
Question is I don't know if you guys have seen The Shy, but the boy with the long hair from The Shy, is he Geoforce? What is going on with that?
See, I don't know, like, because his name isn't in any relation to Geoforce. But at the same time, they'd have said that Dr. Jace was responsible for his mother dying. They haven't said anything about a sister, but he can control the earth. So I'm like, if this fool is Geoforce, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that.
It's weird, but it's cool at the same time. But number one, Geoforce is Markovian, and Markovian is a fictional Eastern European country, right?
Yes.
And he's very much Black and American, so that's kind of weird.
Yes.
But I'm all for more Black people having powers and being in the spotlight. So I'm like you. I'm a little torn on it too. It's just maybe it's not it. Maybe they're just going by giving someone Geoforce's powers without actually using Geoforce. Because let's be real, who really cares about Geoforce?
And also, he's like got justice right now, so like they don't want to like cross too many borders and whatnot.
I mean,
also, Geoforce is an awesome character. I don't want to hear that.
Hey,
I'm just dying at the wow that I caught from Jazz in the middle of it.
He was a founding member of the Outsiders. I don't want to hear that nonsense.
Let's round of applause.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Geoforce.
I mean, what's the Outsiders now? Thanks, Geoforce.
We don't talk about it. We don't talk about it.
I'd rather read a Metamorpho than Geoforce.
Hey, Metamorpho is a G. I wish he'd get more love, but like, I digress. But honestly, Black Lightning keeps developing, and I'm really worried about where this show's going to end, because I've been saying it on panel to panel. I've been saying it for months now, or for years now, that Black Lightning has almost no source material to keep pulling shit from, because they won't make him more books, and the show's gonna like only go so much longer because the showrunners have had controversy around them, and now there's barely any source material to support the show continuing.
Well, so the source material is just turn on the news. That's the source material.
So what if and I really hate to do this to you guys, but what if they dive into Jefferson's past and realize that his old name was Virgil Hawkins?
I will stab
that
you.
Was coming.
So
Why
hard.
did I know that was coming?
Oh my god! I hate it so much.
Is Bill Duke dead? Because that's a cold piece of work right there. That's an evil motherfucker.
Oh no, he ain't dead. Al Roker ain't dead.
He's playing one side against one, playing both. He's playing every side there is.
He is only motivating himself. He doesn't care about anybody but himself.
Right.
All he cares about is serving the government, and it's the funniest shit.
And I can't wait to see the Black Lightning family come face to face with Khalil again. That dude's been beating the dog piss out of people.
Like and the worst part is he's not even Khalil anymore. He's had everything about him ripped from him. So like he's just this soulless painkiller. He like it sucks.
He killed his own mama.
He killed his own mama. How can you just kill your own mama? Like
he didn't know it was his mama, but that's why Bill Duke is cold.
Bill Duke said, "I'm gonna wipe your memory and make you kill your mama." Like that's the world we live in right now.
What kind of evil are you that you would do that to somebody?
I'm gonna take your memory and make you kill your own mother. Like,
hey, you kill a little boy without telling him until after the fact.
Yes,
he's shady, man. He's shady.
So yes, as you can see, we are hyped. Well, we are hyped as fuck for what's going on in Black Lightning. I wanted to then go a step further, and before we get into the Watchmen discussion, I want to have a quick roundup, talk about Disney Plus. So, what are we, about a week out? Yeah, it's been about a little bit of a week and a half out from when Disney Plus has launched. It's had its ups and its downs. There's been some crashes. There's been some hacks. Hashtag change your password if you have not, because your account is being sold on the dark web if you didn't change your password. I gotta say, this show, not the show, Jesus. This service is pretty much what I knew I was gonna get, and I'm very satisfied with it. It hasn't blown expectations or anything, but I'm very satisfied with it. Marcus, we haven't got your opinions on Disney Plus, and I want to know what you're thinking.
I mean, all I've watched is The Mandalorian, and that show's great. So I guess Disney Plus is great.
You ain't pulled up on my DuckTales yet?
I don't care about none of that stuff, man. All I care about is watching the Goofy movie, and I'm gonna do that soon.
So are you telling me
that yet?
No, not yet.
So are you telling me you haven't pulled up into that search menu and looked up and away?
I mean, I don't have time to do all that shit, man. There's too much stuff on there. I already got a library of shows that I need to watch and that I need to catch up on. I'm not about to go back and watch a bunch of old Disney movies that I probably didn't even care about when I was younger.
Hey man, Up and Away was that first movie that taught us that black superheroes exist. Like that was the movie. Right there.
Isn't Robert Townsend in that movie?
I think he is. Yeah. Was he the grandpa? Yeah.
All I'm probably gonna watch on Disney Plus until all the Marvel shows come out.
Wait, no, he was the dad. He was the dad in that movie.
Yeah. All I'm gonna watch is The Mandalorian, a Goofy movie, and Hercules, and that's probably it.
Hercules.
What about another Goofy movie?
That one is
extremely goofy movie.
That movie's cool, but it ain't a Goofy movie.
But like, extremely goofy movie was lit as all hell, and no one treats it right.
Because it's not a Goofy movie, aka the best Disney movie of all time.
Oh my god!
Fight me.
I mean, like,
it's a fight to lose.
I'm not gonna disagree with you, but like, I am at the same time. Like, there are better.
I don't believe so.
Treasure Planet rings your doorbell.
Treasure Planet.
Atlantis
is not better than
Hercules.
A Goofy movie is the blackest Disney movie. It's blacker than Princess and the Frog.
Baron Samedi is in Princess and the Frog, man. That's bold.
That's bold right there, homie.
I told no lies.
New Orleans is about to just jump on your Twitter.
Oh my god.
Big Hero 6 is a good one. I can't knock Big Hero 6.
Tangled,
Moana. I was about to say, if we're talking about Moana, if we're talking about Pixar too, Pixar's slap. I don't even like Pixar, and I can respect them.
Lilo and Stitch, my guy.
Lilo and Stitch, oh my god.
The Incredibles, my guy.
I haven't seen a lot of these movies either.
Yeah, so you're gonna say every movie's the best one, but you ain't seen half these movies,
bro.
You speaking blasphemy in my house.
I'm not a big animation guy, to be honest.
Like,
that's fair.
It's also kind of hard though, because I've had to there are some movies that I'm like, no, Cece, you can't watch Pocahontas. Nah.
Right. Savages.
Hey.
There's literally only one message to listen to, and that's exactly what Marcus just said.
Like, Great Mouse Detective was some good shit. Like, I'm just scrolling through the list right now. Like, there's so many that are just fire.
I mean, honestly, I can't really judge Disney Plus until the rest of their original content comes out.
You right. We gotta wait for that Falcon and Winter Soldier until next year.
Woo!
Right. Also, elephant in the room. I know I'm gonna probably get myself shot in the foot here, but Zootopia is more problematic than it thinks.
Oh,
Ooh, you're right though.
That's coming from the parent that's seen it 40 times.
And it's getting a sequel, so we have more problematic problems.
is it really?
And they just announced
That's
Zootopia's
gross.
getting a sequel.
That's gross.
Zootopia. What kind of dig into that theory? I would like to hear your.
I've
I
never
know. I
actually
want to
seen
hear
it, so
that
I
too. I actually like Zootopia a lot,
did
so I really
too.
want to hear this.
I didn't.
Okay,
expect it to be
Travis,
what it
speak your
was.
mind. You'll be heard.
It's
That's High School Musical talk.
the whole premise of the movie. That the idea, I understand that on the surface level, the whole idea of predators and prey seems like a good way to talk about racism, but I am not a predator.
Mm.
Okay.
Is that
You know what I mean? That's kind of what it is, because they make it to where the nature of the POC in that movie is ultimately to feed upon the prey, which is kind of how they put it, which isn't at all true in real life world at all.
Yeah, I see that. I see
Yeah,
that.
that makes sense. I never thought of it like that, but
I mean, I did too. I have thought of that. I wasn't. I think in this instance, it was that predators were being not victimized, but like the culprit in that ended up being the one who everyone thinks is the fragile, frail race, I guess we should say.
Right, but it was also really deep. I gotta hand it to that movie, but I'm sorry, continue.
No. That's all I was gonna say is that it basically, yeah, like in an allegory sense, that does say that like we are the dangerous ones. But I think that setting it up that way just to like yank the rug out from under us by having the bad guy be the one who is not the predator was a smart way to go about it.
And
So
you're right.
I can respect that a lot, which is why, yeah, I mean, I've seen the like deleted scenes for the way they were going to go about it, and I was like, that would have been too far. So I have a lot of respect for that movie.
Unnatural is an adult Zootopia.
Like, unnatural. That sounds familiar.
What'd you say?
Unnatural sounds familiar.
That comic, that one that.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, that comic was so weird. We don't want to talk about that comic. Like that was called let's make furries have their own comic and be sexy at Image Comics because we don't care.
Ew, I hate that.
I liked it, but I'm not a furry.
Hey man, you're valid if you are. Marcus, if you need to come out to us, we are here for you. Like, don't feel like you need to be pressured. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, if you want to be your true self, be your true self.
Well,
but I will say, I'm gonna ignore that, and then I'm gonna say that the book the book did get really weird in like the last 3 or 4 issues.
All right. So definitely like check out Disney Plus. Now it's time. Travis, grab your corkboard.
All right.
Travis needs to grab his corkboard because we're gonna have Watchmen discussions. So. Now keep in mind, I just binged the last 2 episodes like today, literally like an hour ago, because I've been so behind. But catching up, I'm just like, oh my gosh, so much has happened in a small amount of time.
I need to get my predictions on the air before the show confirms the next ones.
Okay, so like last we left off, freaking Lori Jupiter / apparently now Lori Blake, because fuck everything, shows up, is now part of the FBI, is like going to Tulsa, Oklahoma to find out who killed the chief, and is involving herself in all this craziness. Suicide bomber tries to attack the funeral of the chief. We throw the suicide bomber in with the vest in with the chief because Lori shoots suicide bomber, and then Chief's body goes kaplooey, and Senator doesn't die when he's held hostage. Now, from episode 4 and 5, we just go off the fucking rails and go into Crazy Town because not only does the car get restored, well, not the car, Angela's car gets dropped back in front of her and Lori, but now we find out that her grandfather can walk. Apparently, there's a crazy Asian lady trying to enslave all of mankind or something because she wants to create babies and gift them to people and buy their land, which had me all freaking confused. Travis, help me! I'm so confused.
Okay, so to start from episode 3 with the funeral, right?
Yeah.
The suicide bomber. It was there for Keen. Remember?
Yes.
Which we all know why. That was confirmed episode 5.
Yes.
I had to read up about it, so I'm gonna spitball the last parts that I don't know, but I don't mind if you guys fill me in with spoilers. But spoilers ahead, everyone.
Yeah. No. We gotta already hit the spoiler territory button a while ago.
Right. Okay. So what I'm gathering is that Keen used that suicide bombing to gain public traction for his campaign. And what makes me think that is because, do you remember episode 2 when the two dudes for the news booth, the guy who was bringing the newspapers and then the guy who owned the newsstand were talking about the current political climate?
Yeah.
They specifically said fuck Keen too. That was the whole deal. He was the right-wing dude.
Okay. You there?
Okay.
Travis?
Did we lose him?
Can you hear me?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hello.
Okay. I think I tapped my keyboard by accident. Okay, where did you guys lose me?
You're still talking about Keen.
Yeah.
Okay, so with him being the right-wing candidate, I'm thinking that with his connections to 7K, he's using that suicide bombing to gain policy traction to where, let's say he did die in that event. In general, I don't know how to call it. Do you guys remember that movie Shoot 'Em Up? And Shoot 'Em Up logic. If the politician dies, the policy that they push normally gets fast-tracked. So for Keen, originally in the first Watchmen, that was outlawing superheroes, right? But this Keen has made them government subsidies. And if we learned anything from episode 2, I think he's trying to bring back a white supremacist type of policing. Because if we take lessons from what they did to Nixonville, they can do that to pretty much anywhere else. How they rounded up the whole neighborhood and confronted them about things for terrorism.
Yep.
Now, let's say if Keen was able to flip the script in the police force, what would happen? You know what I mean? We would be back to Tulsa-style things, because they were about a murder away from doing that kind of stuff in the Nixonville by rounding up the whole neighborhood.
Yep.
And I know it sucks to hear that because they're all bona fide white supremacists, but that did happen.
Yep.
And
Right.
Laura
Wrong is
mentions
wrong.
it. Wrong is wrong. And Laura mentions it in episode 3 when they're bringing one in. Oh, are your rights being violated? Just kidding. I don't care. You know? That's the kind of policing we see regularly, is what I would assume, because Laura's kind of the new comedian. That's the funny side of things. She doesn't care except for what she cares about, but who knows what that is, you know? I guess what I'm getting at is I think Keen is using his 7K connections to set it up to where he gets political power and wins himself a presidency.
I can see your theory that Lori is the new comedian, because it's very obvious that Angela's teetering that line of being the new Silk Spectre / Night Owl, and you got freaking bitch. Who I am referring to him as bitch ass Looking Glass for the rest of the episode after what happened in episode 5.
Bitch ass Glass.
Bitch ass Glass.
He had to do it. He
is bitch ass Glass. I don't give a fuck. He is bitch ass Glass until further notice because of what he did. But no, and I just because he's definitely the Rorschach character. I'm guessing they're trying to line up Lady True / Crazy Asian Lady as the new Vite, which is obvious because she bought Vite's company
And she worships him.
Yes.
And she respects him very highly to have a fucking statue of him in her home. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's weird.
Yeah. And when she's asked about it, why do you have this? Oh, in my country, we revere old people. You know what I mean? Because it's him as he's currently aged was the idea.
Yeah.
But the tricky thing about that is everyone assumes that he's dead. So they were asking, like, why is the statue old? Well,
But she knows.
he's not. Yeah, exactly.
That's what's crazy. She knows. That trips me out.
Yeah, I was so happy when I found out about the space prison, and that's kind of what I think.
Oh,
Yeah, you cut out again.
Come back.
Okay, here we go. Woo! This microphone is touchy. I need a new one. But on to the next one. Like, I'm thinking, you remember when she was bartering $5 million and a child to that family?
That was so
to buy
crazy.
their
Like, oh yeah, I totally like stole that your eggs and your sperm and made you a child. Like, don't worry. Like, it's just if you don't accept my offer, I take your child and take him somewhere else. I was like, are you
I
for real
will
right now?
destroy this baby.
And it was
That
like, I'm
wasn't a
kidding,
joke.
guys. I'm kidding. Like, I'm gonna give it a nice home though. Like, that had me tripping.
I'm thinking what landed on that property is Vite, and what we're seeing of Vite is not in line with the current events of the show.
I could see that.
That's what I'm thinking. But how Vite gets back to Earth, that's what I'm not understanding. Like, there's not a bison in any Dr. Manhattan created habitat, but I'm probably wrong. That could survive, breaking through atmosphere. But this show's been crazier since.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I just like, and then like, bitch ass Glass has me on some fuck shit because like that episode 5 being all about him. Like I have put myself in his shoes of like you had like you believe in the Lord and then like the apocalypse comes and you lose your pants and then you go out there and there's a giant squid and you're traumatized. And then you find out the giant squid's not even real. Like, oh, that ooh.
His whole life like shattered.
Like,
yeah,
like he gave up his woman because of his craziness. Like he lost everything right then and there. Like I'd be so traumatized.
And he still puts the hat and the mask on.
Yep.
That's how deeply that trauma is embedded in him. Well, I think it's now just being a cover for the trauma that he's just experienced, knowing that everything was a lie.
Yep.
Right. And imagine like the world ending around you and you're literally caught with your pants down and it was all bullshit.
Right.
Ugh.
That would have me fucked up, bro. Like, my heart breaks for him, but then he ended up being a bitch. Like, that's what hurt me.
If he didn't do that, Angela and her family were going to be killed.
Right.
I hate
And
that you're right.
They're the clan, man. Like, think about that for a second. Like, how they would die and, like, just the fact that they would be harmed by racists. Like, he had to do something.
And the
I
funny
think you're
thing
right.
and the despicable thing about Keen is he doesn't even agree with the cavalry. He doesn't even like them. He just uses them as a tool for his plot.
Right. He's like what I would say the Richard Spencer in a group of neo-Nazis.
I would say even less because I really think Richard Spencer believes that stuff. He's just dressing the part of someone that could be presentable. I don't think Keen.
Okay.
I think Keen only cares about his agenda, getting his agenda across, and doing that is causing chaos in Tulsa. He's kind of a Vate-like character too, because he's trying to cause all this chaos in Tulsa in order to get his agenda pushed.
Right. And wait a minute. You guys think that maybe the portal in episode 5 was them trying to figure out how to drop a squid somewhere?
I could see it.
Not a squid.
Because even dude said, nah, that's old school, fam. We ain't doing that no more. We ain't dropping squids on people.
Yeah, they're gonna drop. From what it seems like, they're gonna drop. Remember, because in episode 1 or was that 2, they're working on bombs. So I think they're gonna drop a bomb somewhere.
Oh yeah, with the watches and the old the old lithium.
Yup. You done forgot everything, Travis. Your whole theory just went out the window.
So this is like
I forgot one thing. Shit.
So this is like
Shit.
this is like Squid 2.0.
But this time, Zack Snyder gets to win because it is a bomb.
Right.
like everyone gives Zack Snyder shit for like changing the ending of Watchmen, and like I understand why, because it changes the literal fabric of the story. But like, come on now, giant squids, fam. Like, like I don't think Zack Snyder was capable of a giant squid.
I mean, I agreed with Zack Snyder, and to Travis. Travis said this on Discord earlier. The only reason it works in the TV show is because it's TV. They get to build up to it. The movie, you only got 2 hours, 2.5 hours to make it work. And I don't think Snyder didn't want to take that risk of it not working. And I agree with that. I actually like his version of Watchmen. I think it gets unnecessary criticism.
It has its changes, but like at the end of the day, my biggest complaint is only the squid. If it weren't for the squid, I literally would never shit on Zack Snyder's Watchmen, because of the fact that like, yeah, it has the slow-mo shots and yeah, it has this and that, but in reality, it's one of the most faithful adaptations that is in existence.
Right, and that's what bothers me, because people say they want their adaptations to be faithful. When he does that, people didn't like it. People don't know what they want a lot of time.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, like when you like think about it, like for the casual audience, you know what I mean? If you don't read comics at all, you wouldn't understand. Like, you have to read a little Alan Moore to understand that a squid's just has to be acceptable. You know what I mean? And if you're watching a movie and a giant squid just drops out of nowhere and there's only 10 minutes left in the movie, no matter how good it was up until that last point, is gonna suck now, in your opinion. Because of this weird, like, what the hell was this squid dropping on New York?
Right. What does this have to do with anything?
Right. I think what Snyder was doing was like the pitting everyone against a common enemy. Manhattan was already there, and he was already unbeatable, so why not?
Yeah, it made a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, but I do understand the complaint of it, because at the end, like, you're actually making Manhattan never be redeemed, when in reality he just wanted to understand the world.
I mean, even in the book, he's not really redeemed. He killed the comedian because the comedian was going to tell the truth.
You mean he killed Rorschach?
Yeah, Rorschach. My bad. Yeah, Rorschach.
Because Vite killed the comedian.
Yeah. There we go.
I wonder if like if Lori invited me, if she's not gonna be like, "You killed my father."
Prepare to die.
Oh, great reference. That was good. I appreciate you. See, this is why Jasmine's here, for the good quips.
Yep. Nothing else.
But we love you though. It's okay. All right. So like Travis, is there any more theories that you want to bring off the corkboard for us until next week?
Okay. Mr. Phillips and Mrs. Crookshanks. All right. So you guys remember how I said this earlier.
I'm not ready for this.
Okay. So you guys remember at the end of the Watchmen book, of course, where he goes, "I think I'm going to go create some life."
Uh-huh.
Okay. So what I'm thinking is that this weird space bio prison is where he did that, considering the tomato trees and the babies growing at the bottom of a lake. Now,
I agree. I think the same thing.
Right, and now so here's where it gets a little kooky. Is I think Mr. Phillips and Miss Crookshanks are John and Janie.
The worst part is, I know you're right, probably, but like, oh god.
Who are those?
John is
Dr. Manhattan.
John is Dr. Manhattan, and the girlfriend he gave cancer.
Oh.
Yeah, and in God creating man in his image, this would definitely scream to that.
Well, they actually gave her cancer. Maybe that's why he's keeping him in prison there with her constantly around him.
That would be insane if that was the truth. Oh my god.
Right.
I have a theory.
Hit me.
What's up?
And I'm pretty sure you guys have heard it before. It's not like super that I originally came up with, but I just think it. Angela's grandfather is Hooded Justice.
Everyone keeps saying that, but like, I don't know.
It's because of that pulling the boiling egg out of the water, and no one ever knew who Hooded Justice was. You know what I mean?
And he loved that movie with that Marshall that
Bass Reeves,
right?
Trusting the law.
Right. But that would be so crazy if they just go, yeah, the whole time Hooded Justice was a black man, and he just got replaced with a white man for the movie.
Right. Well, nobody knew what he was, and
like.
of course they're gonna white because everything is white.
Right. Well, I mean, especially when you think about Hooded Justice's outfit, although it would make sense because it's a clan robe but black and a noose around his neck. Does that make? It's weird basic symbolism, but that's what I was thinking when I thought about it. If you remember the episode where he talks to Angela, he pulls out like a boiling egg, like straight out of the water, barehanded. So I'm thinking maybe he also has some kind of like super durability, considering when he was a kid, it looks like he got shot and the car definitely blew up.
That would be crazy, bro.
That would make sense. And then people were saying that Hooded Justice had superhero abilities.
That's you blowing my mind right now, and I kind of hate it. Because like I was saying this off mic earlier. I'm at the point where this show has defied all my expectations and keeps like morphing this comic that I love so dearly into like this new age, like we're tired of black people getting treated like shit narrative, and I love it so much. But also like you're expanding on all this lore, like the idea that Lori just said fuck Dan and went off and became an FBI agent, like that hurts my soul.
Well, it seems like as she got older, she got connected to her father, and she wants to kind of take on his legacy a little bit. But I respect Dan for not snitching.
Yeah, Dan didn't snitch. He said F that shit. I'm staying in jail.
I got one more that's kind of going to be a rough one to swallow.
Go for it. Just get it over with.
In the Watchmen world, diversity was actually forced.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of was.
Yeah. Redfordations kind of hit you hard right there.
Shit, yeah. I'll take some Redfordations right now.
Amen. Amen, my guy.
That's the truth. But because of the fact that it was Ozymandias, it's not like conceivable forced diversity, but I'm real skeptical about them putting that in there.
So that means that we have to. So that means that like Adrian Veidt is the king of black people, and I don't know if I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I'm okay with that.
He's George. What's the George Sonos or Spano, whatever that guy's name is, that all conservatives think is pushing a liberal agenda.
Oh.
He's literally that guy.
Like the idea that freaking like Adrian Veidt could be the reason why black people aren't suffering in this universe kind of has me kind of freaked out on some real shit.
Right, because when you think about it, our prosperity was built off the backs of millions of dead people. Just like in real society, a lot of people's prosperity was built off the backs of dead black people.
Yeah. Yep. Shit, bro. This show is too deep.
Right, the show is wild. It's a wild show.
So, like, if you're not watching Watchmen, like, I feel like you need to get on this shit.
Jasmine. Shut up.
Jasmine's like, not with you kooky motherfuckers.
No, I do want to watch. It sounds really fascinating. I just haven't had the time.
You get to watch Regina King beat niggas up. Like, it's so good.
Oh, she does a lot of that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you literally get to watch Regina King beat up racists. Like, it makes your heart so much happier.
I need to see more of Lube Man. What's going on with Lube Man? I need his story.
Oh my God,
it's Petey, man. It's so obviously Petey. It's like, gotta be Petey.
I was so salty because like this dude's just watching her all creepy and shit, and then he just slides into the sewers. Like, what the fuck, bro?
Hey, he was so smooth with that. First of all, he was running like 50 miles an hour. Like that dude is a track star. And then that slip and slide into the sewer. I'm like, this dude's amazing.
Right.
Oh my God. Y'all killing me.
I love the show so much.
Man is on some shit, and I don't understand why he exists.
Hey, so Lube Man for president.
You did not just say that to me.
It's better than Keen, obviously.
Yeah. Like Keem, like I don't understand him, and I'm kind of
Lex Luthor. That's what it feels like.
He really is, though. Okay, so there's our harebrained ideas when it comes to Watchmen. So, as I sit here with Switch in hand, as I nickname this Toxel, let's sit down and let's talk about Pokemon. So,
the toxicity. I'm gonna turn on my Pokemon right now. Shoot.
well, like you get a free one at the daycare, so I was like, screw it, why not?
That's the one I got.
They giving out free Pokemon?
There's gift Pokemon in almost every game. But no, like so let's talk about it, y'all. Pokemon Sword and Shield came out about a week and a half ago, and it is now the best selling Switch game of all time.
Wow.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, this week they announced that Sword and Shield is the highest selling Switch game of all time.
I'm a statistic.
Like I'm a statistic.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense when you think about it. Hey, we're all hype beasts.
Really, bro.
Yo.
So, like, Travis and Marcus, as the Pokemon casuals, I want to get your thoughts on these games before I go in.
For me, I always told myself when I was little, because I always wondered why wouldn't they make a Pokemon game for console? It doesn't make sense. They would make billions of dollars, and I always told. But they would do stuff like what Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Stadium, and those games are cool in their own right, but they weren't like a core Pokemon game that you could play on like your 64 or your GameCube or your Wii or whatever. So I told myself when I was young, if they ever made a Pokemon console game, that I don't care how old I am, I'm stopping everything I'm doing and I'm gonna go get it. And lo and behold, in the year of 2019, we finally got it. So when I first heard the announcement, I was excited because when I saw they made Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, I'm like, they're doing something. This is a test run for something else. And I think like shortly after that, they announced Sword and Shield. So I was hyped. I pre-ordered it as soon as I heard. And then honestly, just to kind of backtrack a little bit, I think Pokemon Go got me back excited into Pokemon too. Because I was when it was really right. When it was really popping, it almost like created world peace.
It did.
It really
that
did.
was such
though.
a good year. That was the best
World
summer
peace.
ever.
You can walk to your local park and meet the newest of people and create the newest of friendships.
Yeah.
World peace of car accidents, because I will admit I was one of those that was driving and trying to catch Pokemon.
Oh my god, Marcus.
I know. But I caught some cool ones though.
All right.
That's a damn shame.
But yeah, the game itself is fun as hell. It's like muscle memory. Once you pick it up and start playing, I remember doing this shit when I was like 11 years old.
It plays just like the old Pokemon
right. It's just
games
pick
from
up and
back in the
play.
day. Yeah.
And I can make myself look black, and then that was dope.
That was a change that came to Pokemon games ago, and everyone's been loving it ever since.
I was worried I couldn't change my hair until I got to the first, because I was like, I don't even look black, I look Indian. But we got to the first barbershop and we made it work. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I just think this game, I do wish it was a little more linear, because my Pokemon are just getting way too powerful. I'm gonna breeze through this game.
Well, see, that's the biggest problem because they announced it early on. The idea that they were going to leave the EXP share, which is an item that like everybody kind of like gets halfway through their journey in almost every Pokemon game, on all the time. That way, constantly your party always gets EXP. So there's no overpowered starters no more. Your whole team gets hella overpowered from the jump.
Right, and it's not so much that I kind of like this share, because you don't have to grind as much. Because I don't even like RPGs, so I don't want to grind. I just want to catch some tight looking Pokemon, and battle some trainers, and call it a day. So I don't mind that. I just feel like the original game had structure to it where you couldn't get to a certain point in the game without first doing certain things, and he wouldn't let you grind to a point where you got overpowered. So I wish there was a little more. There was a little more of that in there, but so far I'm having a.
Okay, Travis, speak your mind and you'll be heard. How you feel about this?
I'm in love because I stopped playing Pokemon at a really young age, and then my video gaming I guess discipline has changed since then. So now that I have one that's just like when I was a kid, but I can grind on it like I'm an adult. I'm really into it, except for I'm also very excited for the lack of EV training. as you heard me say earlier, James, I was just not a big fan of having to fight so many of the same Pokemon and breed so many of the same Pokemon to get it exactly what I had wanted it to be. You know what I mean? I would rather just be able to take them out there, fight with them, teach them some moves, and learn the system. You know what I mean? And then maybe just sometimes my Pokemon aren't strong enough. And they kind of did that based on your bond with your Pokemon in this game, with the camps and how you can play with them and all the toys and stuff.
That's
that was
fun.
a pretty good addition.
The camp's pretty fun. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel it. So, did Travis? We lose Travis again?
No, I'm still here. I don't know. I'm right now. I'm queuing up for a 5-star flying steel. Do you guys want in?
Where are you at?
I'll just put the code up.
Okay, let me go to the wild area shit. Wait, you're at a 5-star what?
A 5-star raid, flying and steel, but you don't have to go to the wild area. You just press Y and go to the internet menu and connect, and then it should come up in the stamps.
Okay, give me a sec.
Make sure I'm.
Hey man, we about to do a podcast on this shit. That's funny as hell.
Yeah, raids are quick, but they're also brutal.
So in a raid, if you play together and one of you catches it, does that mean you both catch it?
No, you have to catch them individually. But if it's beaten, it's beaten for everybody. And the server is under maintenance. Wow.
Yeah,
There's
so
a
we
lot of
can't do
people
it.
playing this game.
Yeah. Okay, so screw that. Let's finish the show. So, for my thoughts, okay, so like I have played. Let me slap my nerd card on the table. I have played every installment of this franchise, and I was watching a review of this game, and there was somebody who said this is definitely baby's first Pokemon, and I'm not gonna go that far. Now, the reason why I understand that criticism is because, like, the evil team's not really evil team. The rivals like almost annoying as Hal from Sun and Moon, but he's not as annoying as Sun and Moon. So like he's okay, but he's there's like 3 different rivals that sort of remind you of Black and White, where like you're kind of split up on what you're doing and whatnot. There's a lot to like about this game. I love the refresh mechanics. I love the quality of life refreshes we've done with like Travis said, the EV and IV training has been simplified so anybody can do it. Like there is a lot to enjoy about this game. Now, I'm gonna be the one to say it. The whole Dex not being here is a problem. Like I know the Dexit Save the National Dex people have soured the actual criticism of the whole Dex not being here is a problem. Them like attacking people on Twitter about their opinions of the game is a problem. Them like attacking Game Freak's Twitter all the time is a problem. That's toxic. That's not okay. But at the same time, the criticism is still valid. It's one of the biggest problems with the game of you are now not only hurting the fans, but then you're hurting the competitive scene of Pokemon Company. Like Nintendo and the Pokemon Company that host those big ass tournaments every year, they can't do that to the full extent that they used to because you just said, screw it, we're not going to put everything into the game that we're supposed to because we're not going to. And it's your game, you do what you want because now it's sort of evolved into the criticism of like Dark Souls, where people will say Dark Souls needs an easy mode. Well, Dark Souls doesn't have an easy mode because they don't want it to have an easy mode. Okay, cool. Like, there will be the assholes who will say, well, Dark Souls is this and this and this. It can't have an easy mode because it'll change everything. No, that's not the argument at all. It's From Software doesn't want it to have an easy mode because they don't want it to have an easy mode, so screw it. That's the argument. Same thing here is Game Freak doesn't want to put all the Pokemon in, so who cares? Because everything Game Freak and Amori and all of them have said about the game of, oh, we made new models, they found out that was a lie because the data miners dug through the game and found out it's the same models just put in HD. So that was a lie. Oh, we had to make all these new forms. That's a lie because half of them are just reused models just made bigger. Like, almost everything they have said about why the National Dex isn't in the game is false. They just didn't do it. They could have, and then Travis, it was either Travis or Marcus, I don't think it was Travis, said something before the show about they might put the other starters in because they have Charizard in the game because of the champion Leon. And they might put the other starters in later. And that would be the biggest middle finger to everybody's biggest request of the entire game is, if you don't have enough development time for the game, just release all the other Pokemon in a patch. So why would you stick a middle finger in the air and go, hey, we can add other Pokemon in later, but not actually do it to everything?
DLC for other regions. I smell it.
That would be legit, and you could have mitigated almost all of your frustrations and everybody getting in your DMs on Twitter and getting mad at you if from the jump going, hey, we're not going to have all 1,000 Pokemon at launch. We'll add them later in a patch. We don't want to overwork our staff. We'll do it in a patch. And not only would you have been looked upon as good because you're not overworking your staff, you would still have the favorability of the more in-depth community, because let's be real, the game's the highest selling Switch game of all time, and it's climbing to be one of the highest selling Pokemon games of all time. The game has made its money back tenfold. So you could have mitigated the hardcore fan base frustration and still kept your money if you would have just said from the jump you were going to patch in shit. That's my big criticism.
And I think that's a fair criticism, but does it really take away from the game?
In some aspects, it does, because I'm guessing for because I still have to go do the big league championship part. I didn't finish the last 2 gyms earlier today. It's frustrating from the aspect of once post game starts, and even next year when they release Pokemon Home, I can't bring all of my crap over because I'm a breeder and I love doing that shit. But in terms of the story mode, in terms of everything that goes on, I will stick by my original rating when I told some of our staff on Comics Ground that I give it a 7.8 because it has its flaws. There's some graphical issues. The story isn't the best, but it's still a pretty good Pokemon game. That's pretty much where I'm at with that.
Yeah, I think that's a little harsh compared to what other reviews it's getting and compared to just my playthrough with it.
Well, I'm giving it almost an 8 because the core gameplay is great. The quality of life things are great, but there's the story lackluster. Like, it could have been better. The graphical issues, while can be fixed in a patch, have their issues. There's still the server issues when you had you could have just used the same foundation that you did for Let's Go. There's the things you could have fixed. That's why it's almost like an 8, but I'm not going to give it to 8 because of that little bit of issues going on.
Yeah, because I've seen nothing but 9s and 8.75s. I'm kind of up there with it right now. Now I could play as I put more time into it. Might see more of what you see, yeah. But I think it's a seamless experience for people who haven't played a Pokemon game back to. And there's a lot of new stuff that people who haven't played the Pokemons that have come out since Gold, Silver, or Red, they can explore and they can pick it up. And I think it's just there's so many games now where it's such a theatrical experience, and it takes so much focus and emotion and stuff where you just want to just play something that's fun. And I think that's the alternative that this game provides.
Oh, definitely. I still say that I keep staying up till 2 a.m. playing this thing because it's nice to have a Pokemon game again. And to have one, like you said, on a console for the first time since XD Gale of Darkness, because the one for the Wii doesn't exist. We don't talk about that one. And even
Coliseum was pretty good too.
Yeah, Coliseum was dope, but then XD came out. And even then, they were never mainline entries. This is the first mainline entry on a console. That's freaking huge. So I still here's the thing. My 3 favorite generations of Pokemon are Ruby, Sapphire, Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, and Black, White, and Black 2, White 2. I may have started at Gen 1 because my first Pokemon game ever was Red, but I still love other generations of Pokemon. You'll never catch me saying, oh, the first generation of Pokemon are the best. Yeah, Charmander. I love only these Pokemon. A Pokeball is the greatest Pokemon ever. I don't
accept that personal attack. I still have my first Charizard card, you cur.
Yeah,
You cur.
Like, I've had so many arguments over the years at different comic book shops or just on the internet of people going, Gen 1's the best! I'm like, you freaking idiots. Do you realize that, like, because I remember there was the specific day where someone wanted to say the ice cream Pokemon in Gen 5 was like a horrible idea. They're running out of ideas, even though we're like 5-6 years out from Gen 5. They're like, oh, they're running out of ideas. Okay, yeah, so like a Pokeball, that's a Pokemon, even though Pokeballs are supposed to encase Pokemon. That's like, it's so original, right? Oh, yeah, a blob, a purple blob that's poisonous, and its name is Muck. Like,
Hey man, first ideas aren't always the best ideas.
you're right,
But-
and I'm just like, and here's the thing: I love both of those Pokemon. I'm just saying, for the sake of the argument, Pokemon has some duds here and there, but like they're still good Pokemon. Like, don't hate just because it ain't your favorite. Like, some people like the ice cream Pokemon. Why you clowning? Like, who cares?
All right,
I
that's
just
fair.
want to say Electrike is the new Rattata.
Electric?
Yeah. I keep running into them. They won't leave me alone.
Electric has been here since Gen 3, but okay.
No, I'm saying it's the new Rattata as far as like they're all over the fucking.
I mean, like, yeah, but then like, what I appreciate about the wild area is the fact that like they keep rotating what Pokemon are in certain areas, so it doesn't feel like you're just like having to go to the same area over and over again. Like,
Right.
I went from walking into the sand area and seeing like a freaking, what was it? I saw like a hippopotas, to then coming back an hour later and seeing a freaking Steelix and shitting my pants. Like, this game has blown my expectations out of the water in some areas, but like I got what I was expecting in some other areas. Why I say 7.8 or like 8. I'll give it. Actually, yeah. Second argument, I'll give it an 8. There. Yeah.
Also, I gotta disagree with your rival's criticism, man.
What you mean?
Being someone that went from Gold and Silver was the last like full installment I played before this one, but going from basically super douche Gary Oaks to these rivals, yeah.
Okay, no, see, I'm not dissing like Marnie, because Marnie's like kind of cool. Freaking
I like Hop too.
Bede, like Bede, whatever the fuck, how you say his name? He's just Gary Oak and Silver had a baby. That's literally what he is. He's all the angst of Silver and the douchiness of Gary Oak in one body. Like, that's what
he gets banned.
Yeah, he gets banned for it. Hop is literally if Barry from Diamond and Pearl and Hao from Sun and Moon had a baby. Because Hao is the most annoying rival you'll ever have in your entire life, and I still want to shank him for it. And then there's Barry, who's just like super hyper and super excited. And he'll find you if you're not where you need to be at a certain time. And I love him to death. So like, he was a good rival, and his dad was the Tower Tycoon, and he amounted to something later on. And I thought Barry was the shit. But then Hal's just like, "Hi guys, I'm your best friend. I suck at this game, but like, yay!" And it's like, ugh. And then there's Hop. Hop is the perfect combination of both. Where like he's super excited to go on this Pokemon journey. He loses a couple battles and then he rises above it and still comes out on top. Like, I like Hop. Hop's cool. That's why I don't hate him like I hate Hao.
I just think Hop's not very smart. Why would you pick the opposite of the Pokemon I picked?
They started doing that in Black and White, and it was like, okay.
Yeah, that was the first time I've ever seen it, and I was just like, "Are you serious?"
Right. I'm just gonna whip your ass every time now.
Pretty much.
Right. I'm gonna spam the same move every single time.
like it breaks your heart. Also, I love how all three of us picked Grookey.
Yes. When I first saw him, I was like, "He's the one."
Hashtag Grookey Gang for life.
Grookey Gang, Grookey Gang, Grookey Gang, Grookey Gang.
Grookey Gang, Grookey Gang.
Oh my gosh.
Also, I got my hands on a Sobble and a Ditto. If you guys want eggs later, I got
yes,
my hands
please.
on a bunny too.
Yes, please.
I need to play more because I don't got no eggs. I don't know how I need.
I need to get a good IV Ditto, that way I can start getting the shit, because I need to get back into my breeding. Because breeding used to be my shit.
Yeah, you can't get a Ditto until you can catch like level 55.
I can catch everybody. I didn't beat all the gyms, so I need to look into that.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah, I didn't
you
even
go
got to.
Oh, go ahead.
I haven't got to the first gym yet. I'm gonna probably do that tonight.
Boy, step your game up.
Bro, it's so easy to snowball from the. Once you get done with the first gym, you're like, all right, let me go to the next area and see what's going on. Oh, okay, it's nice over here too. I'm gonna get my next badge.
Yeah, legit though. Like Pokemon's one of those games where you just end up at the next gym and you get hyped about it.
Start talking like Ash.
Pretty much. Like,
Yep.
I mean, like Ash is like it's kind of lame, but like, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I wanna be the very best.
I need to introduce you all to the world of poker rap.
That song slaps.
That it does. I need to introduce you on to Pokemon rappers. That way, y'all actually get some good music in your soul. So, like, okay, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this episode. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Blerd Grounds. You can check out the website on Comics Ground. Put some hyphens between those words .com. And you can check us out like every weekday on there for reviews, solicitations, previews, all that good stuff. On that website, you can listen to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, everything in between, except for SoundCloud. We don't support SoundCloud here on this podcast. Everywhere else, you can check us out. Subscribe, hit us up, talk to us. You can talk to us on Twitter, Instagram. Holler at our social media manager Andre. We love him. You can see him on the past 2 episodes before this one, except for the past 2 more before last week. And like we love having him here. So like he will definitely be back for more installments and whatnot. Get ready for December 13th, where we will be premiering our season 1 finale. So get excited for that. We'll be having a few more episodes between now and then, so get hyped for that as well. I think that's all I got. Jasmine, you haven't had a lot to talk about this episode, so I'm gonna let you go first. What is your closing statement for this episode?
You guys are nerds, and I love you.
All right. Travis, what is your closing statement for this episode?
Oh, I need them servers back up so I can do raids with my boys.
Amen to that shit.
That's what it is, man.
All right. Marcus, what is your closing statement for this episode?
Gookie Gang for life. I almost canceled his evolution. Yes. I did not want to.
But then, like, he freaking bangs on a drum, and I don't even care if it comes off like some stupid shit. I named my Groovy Questlove because the minute I saw this dude had a drum and he had an afro, I was like, that's Questlove right there. You can't tell me otherwise. Like, because I have a thing where I always have to nickname my Pokemon, so like I had to nickname him Questlove.
Have you seen the viral video of Score Bunny's evolution just kicking Pokemon in the face?
Yes,
that's hilarious. He is mean. I'm glad I didn't pick them. Why are you kicking everybody?
Yeah, it's a little aggressive. Okay. So what? Like, my closing statement is, I love Pokemon to death. I'm hyped to keep playing this game. I have my criticisms, but I still love it. I got my Flygon and my Pangoro, so I don't give a fuck. All right, we will catch y'all next week right here on I almost said panels next week on Monday. We will catch you right here on the next week for Blerd Grounds. Peace out.
Peace.
Wait, did you just say Monday?
Yeah. Travis, don't worry about it.